Alright, what's good? It's your boy Skinny Omar Tall, and I'm going to be showing you guys, or really just talking to you guys about essential pieces of equipment for a home gym, at least essential items to me. These items have been, very essential to my gains and my progress over the years, and it's a very limited amount of equipment, and it's a way to be able to maximize gains without needing a bunch of equipment, as I'll be naming just about 6 items or so. Starting off with a squat rack should be, or a squat rack, or you can call it maybe a power rack. This should be basically like the center of your home gym, right? And this is like if you want to train with weights and calisthenics, right? And specifically, you want to make sure you get a power rack that has a pull-up bar so you can do pull-up variations like pull-ups, chin-ups, whatever. And this will, of course, allow you to do the big movements that, you would want to do that will form the basis of your training. And, like I just said, a squat rack. The second piece of equipment would have to be a barbell, right? So a standard Olympic barbell. This will allow you to access those big movements like maybe squats, deadlifts, maybe bench press if you're interested into bench press. Or you can do curls, whatever the case may be, right? You can do rows, a bunch of big compound movements, which are very necessary, for, I'd say, for most of our training, especially if you want to use barbells and if you want to have weights incorporated into the way you work out. The third piece of equipment is gymnastic rings. Gymnastic rings are incredibly versatile. You can do leg movements on there. You can do a bunch of isolation movements on there. You can do compound movements, right? It's like this thing where you can just become so creative with this simple, just very simple piece of equipment and use it like for everything, right? I've been using gymnastic rings for a long time and I still use them now to this day, and I don't see myself not using them anytime soon. Especially if you're a person who really enjoys doing calisthenics and liking to do body weight. You'll even have more variations of body weight compound exercises, like variations of push-ups, variations of pull-ups and chin-ups, and variations of rows. You can do curls in them, face pulls, whatever the case may be. And there's just a great versatile piece of equipment that allows you to access so many different movements without having to buy even more equipment, like maybe cables or some other types of machines or something like that. Next up are parallel bars or dip bars. They're kind of like the same thing. Whatever. If you search it up, you're gonna get like the same result most likely. And I use this piece of equipment for, a big main exercise of mine, which would be dips or weighted dips. However I might do them. And I think they're very important. You can also do rows on them. If you get under them, you can do rows however you would like. But if you don't really find it to be a necessary piece of equipment, you can, of course, do dips on gymnastic rings, but that's going to be a bit harder. But you can always work up to that. Or you could get a dip attachment that you can place on your power rack. And that way you can kind of maybe even save up some space, since you just have a separate attachment that you can kind of store somewhere else. Adjustable / loadable dumbbells, right? This would be dumbbells where like maybe you can change the weight on them, of course, right? Or you can add weight, whatever the case may be. And I say this instead of getting, let's say, multiple dumbbells. This will save you a lot of money, right? Instead of getting like, let's say, 10-pound dumbbells and then 15-pound dumbbells and then 25-pound dumbbells and then 30. No, you can just straight up get loadable dumbbells that are going to be very sturdy, and then you can get weight plates to add onto them, right? This will, of course, save money and space as well. And when it comes to having dumbbells in your arsenal, it'll allow for a lot more variety, so that you'll have more access to isolation movements. You'll have access to variations of compound movements. You can do one arm movements, so that way, maybe you don't get any type of imbalances, right? Stuff like that. A very versatile piece of equipment, and they should definitely be considered when trying to build up your own home gym. Last on the list would be Parallettes, or AKA push-up bars. I use this type of equipment all the time for a lot of pushing movements, right? Whether it be like shoulder presses or just push-ups in general. And they're a good way to incorporate other body weight pushing movements into your arsenal, instead of just maybe always, let's say, like relying on weights or whatever. And again, like they allow for a much deeper and bigger stretch, especially if you're a person like me who loves to do push-ups all the time and I want to be able to get more out of a basic movement. You might have noticed that I didn't really mention anything about, let's say, like a bench press, right? You might be like, oh, why didn't you say bench press? A bench press to be a staple. I was naming essential items in my gym, right, and what I work out with and how I work out. I don't necessarily use a bench all the time. I don't really bench press or anything like that. I might do step ups or something like that, but you don't need to have a bench. You can have a step stool. So it all really depends on what your goals are and how you like to train and what movements you would like to train, right? Another thing I didn't mention were weight plates. I didn't mention it because I thought it'd kind of be like a no-brainer as to like somebody who is going to want to train with weights and going to want to progress, right? But if you kind of want to know what type of plates to get, you should probably get a pair of 45-pound plates, a pair of 35-pound plates, a pair of 25 pounds, and then maybe 2 pairs of 10 pounds, 2 pairs of 5 pounds, and 2 pairs of 2.5s, right? And that might be all you need. But of course, you're gonna get stronger, so you might adjust for those weights later on in the future, which, when you kind of think about it, won't cost as much money as, let's say, going to a commercial gym. Let's say you go to Planet Fitness, right? $10 a month. It might not seem that much, but over time that can build up, right? Let's assume that you're going to be going to the gym for the rest of your life. Then, that's going to be, you're going to be paying $10 a month for however many years, right? Whilst you can just get like equipment one time, especially if you get really good equipment one time, and then you'll be having like your own home gym or your own piece of equipment for practically the rest of your life or for many years, right? Whilst maybe buying like, more weight plates or something like that, or maybe some other piece of equipment, whatever the case may be, if you feel like you want to do other different exercises, right? So that's why I think it's very important to have your own home gym. Not only that, but you can personalize what you put in there. You can control what is in there and control what isn't in there, right? If you're a person who really likes to do, let's say, Olympic movements like clean and jerk and snatch or whatever the case may be, you can have a gym that looks like a place to where you can train more Olympic style weightlifting, right? If you are a bodybuilder, you might have a home gym with like a lot more eccentric equipment, right? A lot more things that are a lot more specific. Maybe if you're someone who really likes calisthenics, all you really need are like parallel bars, a pull-up bar, and maybe some push-up bars, and then the ground below you, right? If you're gonna train with pure body weight, or you can have like a weight vest. So it's great. It's just great in general to have your own place to train, right? Your own little gymnasium somewhere within your living space, even if it's just in your bedroom, having very simple equipment. Because for one, you don't have any excuse as to why you don't have to train or why you can't train. Oh, I can't make it to the gym. I don't have any gas, or, it's cold outside, or I can't use my car at the moment, blah, 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 whatever the case may be. Even if you don't use a car, let's say you ride your bike, oh, my bike's broken, whatever, no excuses, right? Everything you need, or just about everything you need, is going to be at home, right? And if there isn't everything, you can improvise in some way, I'm sure. So it's just, I think it's the best thing, if you're someone who's very serious about lifting and wanting to progress and get stronger, I think you should try and invest in home gym equipment. Save up whatever money you can, or whatever the case may be, or if you just have a job, just try and make that space. Maybe you might not have the space, but you can at least get a pull-up bar. You can at least get some push-up bars, some gymnastic rings, very basic equipment that you can store in your house without any problem. You can store these equipment anywhere, to be honest, without a problem. If you're homeless, you can buy gymnastic rings and then hang them up at like a park or something like that, right? So if you're homeless, don't watch this video, go make money or something like that instead. But in general, I think it's very important to have your own home gym, and that's why I just kind of wanted to share you guys my own gym equipment and what I do and what I use. Of course, you see my videos, you see what I use regularly, and I thought I'd kind of break that down and maybe be more specific about it. But yeah, have your own home gym. That's my recommendation. Have some type of equipment that you like. If you want a cardio machine, do that. And you can personalize it. Nobody can tell you that you can't ego lift. Nobody can tell you that you can't grunt and scream at the top of your lungs. Nobody can tell you that you can fart up the entire gym room and make it stinky, smell like garlic and gingerbread or something. But yeah, peace out.